It is the last Saturday of the month of April 2017. A good afternoon to you and many thanks for joining us on Weekend at 1. My name is Michelle Ngele. We are following up on the aftermath of the Jubilee primaries that concluded in the country on Monday. Timothy Otieno will be joining us live from the Jubilee headquarters here in Nairobi, where hundreds of supporters and their aspirants have thronged with complaints of irregularities marring the process. Timothy, what are we expecting from you in this hour?
Well, Michelle, it's the final day for the National Elections Board to hear disputes following the Jubilee Party primaries that took place this entire week. Now, the National Elections Board has been receiving those complaints from across the country yesterday evening, and this morning, supporters of various aspirants who apparently lost the elections had come to this particular building, of course, seeking redress. I will be telling you the tough task over the next 24 hours that the National Election Board is about to face following the nominations of the Jubilee Party.
All right, Timothy Otieno will be giving us details of that and much more. But first, let's begin with a look at news making headlines. 6,600 teachers to miss house allowance in April salaries. We tell you why. ODM National Elections Board to announce decision in Migori and Homa Bay today.
Assalamu alaikum.
And Pope Francis leads Mass in Egyptian capital, Cairo. Welcome to the program. The Teachers Service Commission has sent out an urgent alert to teachers, warning that due to a system error, 6,635 teachers and the Secretariat staff will miss their house allowances in this month's salaries. The TSC says the integrated personnel payroll data, which is the platform used to manage payroll for most public sector employees, had a system error. The Directorate of Service Management is currently working to correct the error, and the teachers have been promised that the money will be resent to them once the system is sorted out. Now, the ODM party is this afternoon expected to announce the party's decision on what will happen in Migori and Homa Bay after the chaotic nomination exercises there. In an exclusive interview this morning, the Director of Communications in the ODM party, Philip Etale, said because the deadline for the party primaries expires tomorrow, the National Elections Board will inform the country on how the party will pick the governorship candidates in Migori and Homa Bay, where results were nullified. In Kisumu County, the County Elections Board is also expected to announce a decision on who will fly the governorship there after Governor Jack Ranguma and Senator Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o both claimed to have won. One of the aspirants, Dr. Hezron Makobewa, had petitioned the elections team in Kisumu to nullify the governorship results. Meanwhile, again, Member of Parliament Jacoyo Midiwo and his Rarieda counterpart Nicholas Gumbo have warned of a rebellion against the Orange Democratic Party in Nyanza over the just-ended party nominations. The two leaders said the party must move with speed to resolve what they termed as massive irregularities in the nominations or face revolt from the voters. Midiwo, the deputy leader of minority in the National Assembly and a longtime ally of party leader Raila Odinga, is said to have lost to Nairobi businessman Elisha Odhiambo. Nicholas Gumbo reportedly lost to Siaya Governor Cornel Rasanga. They said the mess in the party's nominations will affect Raila's performance in the August 8th polls. The two leaders, who were accompanied by the county woman Member of Parliament aspirant Florence Alwodo, addressed several rallies in Gem constituency.
Who have changed figures, instead of giving us our figures, they have changed those figures. And that is what we are protesting. Our party has been at the forefront in advocating democracy and the right of the people to choose people that they prefer. It cannot be possible that the people of Siaya go out to vote and the results which are read have no bearing whatsoever towards the people, the votes that the people cast. I also love you people because I know he carries the aspirations of the people of Kenya. That's why I do it. The wonderful soldiers coming. If they can do that to me, will they protect your rights as an individual?
No.
If they can cannot protect my rights. I can assure you, they will not protect the lives of Kenyans. Therefore, they must do the right thing. The party must do the right thing.
Now, Jubilee's National Elections Board faces a tough hurdle today as hundreds of Jubilee supporters and their aspirants thronged the Jubilee Party headquarters in Nairobi yesterday and the better part of this morning, complaining of irregularities that were witnessed in the just concluded Jubilee primaries. Timothy Otieno is at the Jubilee headquarters in Pangani and now joins us live. Timothy, paint us a picture of just how big a task the Jubilee National Elections Board is facing.
Well, Michelle, it is an enormous task that is about to face the National Elections Board, because today, the Saturday, is the final day that the Elections Board is receiving complaints from aspirants who just undertook the Jubilee Party exercise. Normally, according to the Jubilee Constitution, the complaints have to be registered 3 days after the nominations were held. So for particularly counties like Nairobi that held their nominations on Wednesday, today is the final day to submit your complaints following the exercise, so that the Disputes Tribunal can then sit down and listen to the complaints and then seek a way forward. So dire is the situation that yesterday and early this morning, supporters of some of the aspirants who are vying for various constituency positions within this particular county stormed this particular area. There was very heavy presence of police yesterday evening here at the Jubilee Party headquarters. Perhaps the most profound case is that of the Starehe constituency Jubilee primary nominations, where earlier on it appeared that Charles Njau, better known as Jaguar the musician, appeared to have led earlier on in the nominations, but finally later on Maina Kamanda was declared the winner. Now, Jaguar supporters did particularly storm this particular area, and coincidentally the president himself was in this building, and of course he addressed the issue, but Raphael Tuju, the Secretary General for the party, did announce that a repeat exercise would take place in Starehe constituency and no one would be given the nomination certificate just yet. A similar incident took place this morning, this time from supporters of an aspirant, Lee Mushiri, who is of course gunning for the parliamentary seat of Roy Sambu constituency. Police had to lob tear gas canisters to disperse the crowd earlier on this morning. But nonetheless, the law of course says that the deadline for conducting party primaries is Monday, the 1st of May. It is just about 48 hours to that deadline, and right now the task for the National Elections Board, but particularly the National Disputes Tribunal, is to listen to these cases and seek a way forward. One of the options on the table is perhaps to have a repeat exercise, but that may be highly unlikely considering the very serious time constraints that are there, considering that High Court ruling that was made in Malindi to have cleared the nominations by Monday. Another option could be that the Disputes Tribunal may have to consider consensus among those disputing parties as to what needs to take place, whether one should leave the seat for the other, of course considering the type of competition that the Jubilee Party is going to be facing with NASA competitors on their other side. So right now the National Elections Tribunal and the National Disputes Tribunal are meeting. 3 tribunal teams will be meeting concurrently. That's how serious it is. The number of cases are just too many countrywide. I was speaking to some people from Kisii County who are of course saying that the parliamentarians there were given direct nominations and the exercise was just conducted for the women representatives and members of the county assembly. So 3 teams from the National Elections Tribunal Commission will be sitting concurrently tomorrow throughout the day to listen to the disputes, to seek an amicable solution forward, considering that Monday is the deadline for nominations, and they have to submit that list by May the 10th to the IEBC, the complete list of those who are going to be facing the ballot under the Jubilee Party. So an enormous task ahead for the Disputes Tribunal. Of course, we are going to be sitting here and waiting for a press briefing that is going to be conducted soon, later on this afternoon, in regards to what way forward for those areas that have had disputes throughout this week, Michelle.
All right, thank you, Timothy. We will be going back to Timothy Otieno, who is live from the Jubilee headquarters in Pangani. Hundreds of Jubilee supporters thronging there with their aspirants, of course, claiming that there was massive irregularities in the